Hey friends, I've got a quick video for you today. I just want to cover 5 things you might not have known about Bleach Immortal Soul. So let's get into it. So today I want to talk about 5 quick tips that you might not have come across yet in the game, or easily could have missed. So without further ado, let's start with number 1. We're going to go to Soul Hall. You probably already know that you can buy statues to get stat boosts for your characters, but you might not have realized that you still get stat boosts, and more importantly legacy points, for buying multiple statues for a character. This will be the best way actually to level up your Soul Hall early on. So notice how I already have my Azure Dragon Soul Hall at level 4. It's because I picked up multiple statues from my characters. Like I showed you Aizen, let's look at Zangetsu. Notice how I have every level 3 statue, and actually yeah, I have every level 1 statue, every level 2 statue, and every level 3. Now you still want to make sure your highest grade statue, so the highest star count and the farthest to the right. You want to make sure your highest one's the one you have equipped, but they all help contribute some stat bonuses, and they definitely contribute to your legacy. Legacy is how you level up your Soul Hall. Notice how I have Azure Dragon already to level 4. That's because I've gone back and bought multiple statues for some of the characters there, and I've done similar things with my other Soul Halls. So that is a great way to level up your Soul Halls early on in the game. But with that, on to number 2, we're going to go to the archives for this one. Now, you may have at some point in the game gotten a Kanonji show ticket. And you probably figured out pretty quickly you can use it to boost favor with one of your characters, and it's going to help you gain initiative. It's definitely an important thing. Initiative is so key, especially in PvP right now. So that's good, but what you might not have known, because the tooltip's not really very detailed, right? So let's take a look. So you see here, Kanonji show ticket. That's literally all it says. There's no details there, unlike with the other items. They usually explain, give you a hint at who you should give them to. But this one, nothing. So you may think, oh, well, it doesn't have any special boost, so I can just give it to anybody. But let me show you. You actually do get a boost for real-world high school student characters. So in this case, Ichigo, Rukia, Kon, Chad, Uryu, and Orihime. So characters in these first 2 categories, Substitute Soul Reapers and high school students, actually get a boost from the Kanonji show ticket. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it on Kon because I haven't given him any real initiative yet. Let's see if we can get him a team bonus. No, not quite there. Oh well. I'll throw him some more stuff later. But that is how you can get the most out of your Kanonji show ticket. So wanted to make sure I shared that with you. Anyway, next up, number 3. We're going to take a quick look at War Souls. Now, in the last video, I taught you guys a bit about the War Soul slot that you unlock at Purple Plus 2, and the character-specific War Souls. But here's something that you might not have known. Now, you probably noticed that there are War Souls for just about every character. See here, like for just about everybody, you can click on them if you have the shards available and create a War Soul, and usually that War Soul for that character gives a bonus that's has pretty good synergy with their kit. But what you might not have realized, maybe this is obvious, maybe it's not, I don't know, but you can actually, as you see here on my Kenpachi, you can equip a different character's War Soul in that slot. You don't have to have the one for that character in order to use it. So that could be helpful in a situation where you have a character like a SSR or a Ultra Rare that's hard to get shards for, specifically like Kenny, and maybe you have another War Soul for a character that's way easier to get shards for. That's still synergistic. So Soul of Rage gives him a bleed chance. It boosts mastery skill. So still great for Kenny, but far easier to get Uryu shards than it is to get Kenpachi shards. So just thought I wanted to share that. Now, number 4, we're going to go back to team. We're going to go to relic sources this time. and we're gonna go to the Hogyoku. So you might have looked at this, and it unlocks at level 50. So some of you might be getting there. And you look at it at first, and you think like, oh well, maybe this isn't gonna take that many relic souls. But this bad boy has a B-side. You see this little flip button here? Press that flip button. There's a whole other side to it with attributes to unlock. So you guys better hit that extreme challenge, because this has a lot more, it takes a lot more points to complete than it appears at first. So, you know, again, that might be really obvious, but I could definitely see how someone could easily miss that if they weren't looking too hard. So last thing I want to cover, I decided I had 5 tips for you today. Number 5, I actually want to call back to my first video. So the first video I did, we went over some things with the Serite challenge. And I didn't get a chance to show you the overpowered treasure I was talking about. So I had a chance to grab it on my last run, so I just wanted to show it to you guys real quick. If you come across this in your Serite challenge run, definitely grab it, because it is basically an I win button. So you definitely want to do that. So it is called the Amulet of Rebirth. In every battle, all characters can avoid 1 instance of fatal damage and gain 1 round of invincibility. Then, for 3 rounds that follow, they recover 10% HP at the end of the round. So not only do they survive fatal damage, but they get invulnerability for the rest of that round. So let's say they die from the first hit, everything else they get hit with that round does nothing to them. And then they can come back, gain some HP the next round, and hit back. So it really just makes Serite Challenge even easier than it already is. But yeah, so those 5 tips, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you guys found those tips helpful. Some of it may have been obvious, some of it you may have missed, so I always like to point out some things like that. Last thing I want to mention is I actually decided to start an experiment. So I'm going to purposely delay my game progress in order to test out a game mechanic. Depending on how long this takes, I'm either going to share the results of that experiment with my next video, or if it takes a little bit longer, I'm going to share it in the video after I covered the video on the Shunsi event coming up, the limited ban or something. So if you like today's tips, feel free to drop a like. And if you want to stick around and see the results of my experiment, you can definitely always subscribe. So I've been Davey Rocket. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.